creado los hombres en la faz de la tierra. Por amor, hay quien haya querido regalarle una estrella. Por amor, fue una vez al Calvario con una cruz a cuesta.
Bienvenidos, welcome, my people, at Latino Ruido. This is Johnny Boricua Prince Dones, your host, and we have Charles La Loma, all the way on the other side of the world in the Filipinas. Charles, what's going on, Papa?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Doing okay.
That's good. That's good. So how was your how was it going on so far over there?
It's going good. Couple of days too hot. Hey, Carmen, how is going?
Oh yeah, the heat is
Um,
unbearable over there, man.
yeah, well, where I live, we're actually in my house. I'm not in my mom's house, my mother-in-law, but it's hotter here because they don't have that much trees and buildings to block the heat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like versus my mother-in-law's house, there's a lot of trees. Well, I say trees, but the palm trees, but
Yeah, they
they
give off the good oxygen and stuff, and
right, and they block a
gives
lot
you
of
that
the
cooling
sun.
effect.
Yeah, here, and I live in a gated community, so there's no
Ah,
trees. It's just
mm,
buildings. So you know, and they
that's
said that
modernization, bro.
yeah, yeah, we have to deal with
Carmen,
a
what's
couple
going
of
on,
things.
baby?
Well,
Welcome to the
yeah,
show.
thank you for watching.
Yes, yes. Thank you for tuning in. She's the greatest fan and friend you could ever have, bro. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, what have I been doing lately? Nada really. Just woke up
Now
the other
that
day with a ohoing chow. I don't know why. Doesn't hurt. No pink eye.
ah,
It's not affecting my
what
eyesight or
what
anything.
what they say that you
Rosa, ¿cómo está?
hey
Bienvenido.
Rosa, that you denied a pregnant person or something. That's what they
Yeah,
say.
right. Oh, you know what it might have been? You know when you're sleeping, you rub your eyes at night and stuff like that. I might have
Ah,
did it,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel it's not tender or the edge is not hurting or anything. It's
Oh,
just dying chow and red. But
oh
like I
my
said, it
God.
doesn't hurt or anything. So, I've been using my glaucoma eye drops and stuff. It's not affecting my vision or anything. So I don't
Mm.
know. Vamos a ver lo que pasa. Maybe I'll wake
I
up like
know,
this
right?
with one eye. I got two eyes. I got two eyes. I got two eyes.
That's all right,
So
right?
how's everybody doing, Carmen? How's everybody? How's the kids, the grandkids? Rosa, ya tú sabes cómo está. La televisión ya sirve.
Yeah.
She was having problem with her TV and automatically just went boop, started working again.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so let's get right into it. We got a few topics that we want to get into. Um, the first topic I would like to go into is the immigrants, the misinformation that's going on about the immigrants at the borders. After that fire that killed like 30 of them, a few people got arrested, and some people got arrested because of that and stuff. But and here in Mexico City, the migrants that are stuck at the border for months, hoping to get into the U.S., are becoming more vulnerable to misinformation. A lot of misinformation
Oh,
being given out to a lot of these poor people in a detention center that killed 39 people. We know that
yeah.
last month, towards the ending of the month in March, and there are over a thousand immigrants lined up outside the international bridges of El Paso, Texas, that leads from Mexico to Texas, and they were
Oh
under
wow.
the impression that go up there, they're gonna let you in, and the false information was spread on social media and by word of mouth that the U.S. would allow them to enter the country, which we all know that's not true, and the migrants, mostly the Venezuelans, a lot of Venezuelans, they surrendered themselves to the U.S. authorities in El Paso to Chief Agent Anthony Scott. And he tweeted, most immigrants, including Venezuelans, won't be allowed to seek asylum in the U.S. by crossing the border under current immigration policies. Because these people are coming in with no papers, no asylum seeking forms or anything like that. They just want to go there, say we want asylum, and they think that automatically supposed to take them in and give them
Oh,
shelter and stuff like that. So, and then the rumors about opening the border after the tragedy in Ciudad de Juarez, they're completely false. Law enforcement policies and security measures to restrict access to people without documents into the U.S. it remains in effect. So we know that policy has been in effect
Mm.
for a while already, and the border is closed to irregular immigration. You just can't show up. Y te van a coger. You know, there's a process you have to go through. But the thing is, these people are getting word back in their country and said, "Mira, están cogiendo gente. Vamos, vamos." They start, bro. They walk.
They start going.
They start walking. You know, and the U.S. expanded the use of the pandemic-related policies known as Title 42 to expel immigrants who cross the border. On May 11, the policy will be replaced with one that largely bans asylum for anyone who travels through Mexico without having sought protection there first. In other words,
Yeah.
you just can't show up. That's just like
See,
somebody knocking on your door, a friend or
see,
whatever wants to come and hang out. You know, no, Papa, it doesn't work that way. I
yeah,
can llamar primero.
yeah. But the issue that I have with the whole Mexican thing and all that, United States is telling them that they immigrants to come in the United States when in actuality half of the United States was Mexico before you took it over,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
and you took it over by not even asking or anything, like your trickery,
Yeah, just like
telling Mexico that we're gonna combine together, and then when they did, you shut them off out of the United
yeah,
States. So I think the whole thing is kind of ridiculous to say tell someone you can't come back to your own country, where they were the second people in this country. So I
oh,
don't know.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I mean, it is what it is, and the powers that be say, you can't do it. Because,
yeah. There's
because he,
correct ways to do it now. You
oh,
just
absolutely.
like you said, you can't
But
just show up, you know.
yeah, I mean, I don't. If you come from a country which is having so many problems as let's take Venezuela for an example, the corruption and the stuff that's going on over there. I got friends in Venezuela that are making the equivalent of $5 a month, and
Mm,
these are professionals, teachers,
mhm,
lawyers, nurses, and stuff like that. They're making the equivalent of $5 a month, and they're using the American dollar over there, so they're getting basically minimum wage.
mm.
And these people can't afford anything. And once in a while, they'll throw them a bonus and stuff like that, and throw them,
Right, right.
And I just wish I could help all the friends that I've made from there from the past years, but it's ridiculous to try and help when you're dealing with the American dollar. You try to send the American dollar over there, and it goes less far than it does here.
Yeah. Well, it's the
You
same
send
with
somebody $25, puede
eh,
comer una chuleta and maybe a bowl of rice for one day.
yeah, see. That's the one thing I like about like places like the Philippines where we have uh no, England is the same. What was it? Thailand. There are certain places where the American dollar is worth more.
Oh,
Um
absolutely.
and those places is kind of ironic that you have Americans living there
Expats,
feeding,
people retiring to go there.
yeah, feeding off of their thing, but never giving back into there. Like I
Oh, yeah.
believe, like if I'm an American and I like, we're planning to retire to the Philippines and live in our house for good, we're gonna give back to build something else because our American dollar is worth more.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
but there's some Americans here that they won't even not even give money to a homeless person, which
Oh, no,
that's
no, no.
another ironic thing because there's not that much homeless people here, but it's a
Right,
poor country. I don't understand
right.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You're
So,
either filthy rich or you're dirt poor. There's no in between.
right. And then like yesterday I gave one person a little girl who was kind of they were homeless
Right.
with 100 pesos, which that is like $2 to me. They were like emotional that I gave them 100 pesos, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but that's only $2 to me. But then I realized, oh, to them it's a lot
That means a
because
lot. They
now,
can get them
shit, I can
something to
get
eat.
I just brought Burger King hamburgers and a French fries for a buck something,
Look at that.
so. And I'm like, only a buck, but even though the food's is portion is small, but still a buck something.
But you eat. That's the bottom line. You eat. You put something in
You
your
eat,
belly.
right?
Like
And
my
that's
mother
the
always
whole.
said, she would give us a snack when we were smaller, and we say, "Ma, can we have
Mhm.
more?" You go, "Esto no es para jaltarte.
Yeah, it's
Esto es
just to
para,
eat.
to put something in your belly y ya está.
Hmm. Oh no, and they love
Not
to
to get
eat.
greedy."
They love to eat here, but
Oh, I'm sure.
the food is cheap, so that way people can eat, and
Yes,
that's the thing that I like. New York, come on now, you
they won't.
7, 8 bucks, $9 for a damn meal with that. It's not even gonna fill you up,
Oh,
basically. So you
and then
know,
basically it's byproducts and all kinds of other stuff, you know. But the good thing
yes,
about being in the Philippines, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba and stuff like that, and all the other countries, you can grow some food.
yeah,
You know,
that's
you
a
can
good
grow
thing about being
viandas.
in. Mhm. And
You
the
know,
good
you
thing
can get
about the
chickens with
Latino,
eggs or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, the like Latinos, like especially in Dominican Republic when I was there, I noticed like a vecino has plátanos, but the other vecino has chickens. They switch.
Exactly.
Toma dos tres plátanos, give me 2, 3 eggs, and you see them switching, and
Exactly. And everybody eats.
they actually have a little like I guess a farmers type market
Right.
where the farmers go and they trade, not the
Yeah.
people in the public, but you have to come in with something to get something. I'm like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
it's
you don't have to
amazing.
trade monetarily. You trade goods like a barter
Yeah.
system.
Hey, my land only can do cafe. Like I only could. But here's some cafe. Give me some platanos. You know what I mean?
There you
Like,
go. There you go.
and everybody eats, and I don't understand that.
That's the way it should be. That's the way some people that I know out in the Midwest. I got a friend of mine who I was in boot camp with. He lives in Mississippi.
Hmm.
Así que ellos hacen. They'll buy the
Hmm.
necessary stuff in the grocery store, like canned foods, the stuff that'll last a while. But they hunt. They grow foods in the small little farm areas that they have there, and they have a lot of land and stuff like that. And they basically eat off the land.
Yeah.
They can kill 2 deer. They got meat for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and or what they'll do is they'll trade deer meat with the guy who has cattle, but he's
Hmm.
tired of eating beef. He wants some deer meat, and you
There
switch
you
up.
go.
You know, that's the
That's
way.
what.
That's got me. But
That's
it's
why.
hard to
That's
do
why
that
I
in a
see
big
here.
city. That's why I want to live in a small town, bro. I want to live in a small town, bro. En el 20 de ya tú sabes.
Hmm.
You know, in West Bubba, because
Yeah.
you know it's a small town feeling. But lately, when you go to a small town, it's usually a lot of racism, prejudice.
Yeah.
You know, and but it's sad that it gets that way. But if I could afford it, I go back. I go live in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I go live in Puerto Rico. I got a lot of family in Puerto Rico and stuff. You know that if I could afford a decent house in a safe area, I'd go back. I go back because
Yeah.
there's just so much crime and stuff that you're afraid. The only way you're gonna live decent or good is if you have enough money and you live like in a gated community,
Yeah.
and
Basically.
that's not even 100%.
No. No. It's not.
You know, but or live in a building where you have security in the building.
Yeah.
You know, but
And that.
other than that, I just can't live like in a campo in Puerto Rico and not feel safe.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And
You know,
and it's getting worse. And the one thing
it is
about Puerto Rico I don't like is it's getting worse, but they blaming it on the United States. The United States is blamed for money issue, not living issues. You know what I mean?
exactly
If that makes any sense, you're the one destroy like the housing in New York. Oh, housing don't be throwing the trash in the hallway. Housing
no.
doesn't throw Pampers out the window. You know what I mean? So they
You're
the
absolutely right.
blame of the property of like the lights and stuff, but they not the blame of how you live. And that's what
Exactly.
Puerto Rico is doing. They blaming everyone but themselves. Like you're living the way you're living because of you.
Yeah.
I seen that one town that they shooting in the air and they having parties in the middle of the streets, but they complaining that they're not getting nothing.
Right.
Maybe if you join as a community, you would do it. So
You do community
sometimes.
stuff with like my excuse me, my biological father before he passed away. He had a small farm
Mhm.
and he would grow, vegetables and stuff like that. He wouldn't even sell it. He'd give it to the people who didn't have. He just
Yeah.
loved working the land. And like my compadre said, you gotta work the land. There's so much land that you can do stuff in Puerto Rico. The thing is, everybody wants to get rich.
Mm.
Everybody wants to start off as a CEO. Nobody wants to start off in the mailroom anymore.
Nope.
They want to get paid now. So what if you want to get paid now, what are you gonna do in 20, 30 years from now when you're not
Mhm.
working anymore and you have no money?
Yep.
living in the street and then fighting with the government to say, "Oh, you owe me this."
Yep.
They don't owe you anything. The only thing that I'm
That
owed is Social Security because I paid into it.
that that's the only thing. Your
That's
retirement
and I paid into
money at the
Medicare
end.
también, so I'm owed that. I
Hmm.
paid into it for all the years that I've worked, and I deserve that. But other
Right.
than that, now if I can get a hand up, people confuse a hand up with a handout. I
Hmm.
won't take a handout unless I'm really, really desperate. When I'm like
Exactly.
on my last, on my last legs. But other than
Hmm.
that, if I could go out there and actually do something, I say, listen, I can't give you much, but I'll clean your storefront.
Yeah.
I'll mop the floors in the job in the store before you close and everything. Just if you can give me a couple of dollars or even something to eat.
Yep. See,
Let me
had
let me.
they need to learn from like Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic and places like that,
That's the
where
bad thing because they come here and they get Americanized.
right, where and over there it's not about the money, but about what can we trade. Like you said,
Exactly.
hey, I'll clean the front of your store. Oh, toma. Here's some arroz con bichuela and just
Yeah.
clean up my front of the bam. Where did they get that rice and beans? Because they went to another office and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this. You give me some rice and beans," and then that rice and
Exactly.
beans went to the guy to clean your store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it
That's like a barter.
trisms.
It's a barter system. You don't have to
Hmm.
pay me in dollars. Give me something to eat.
Hmm.
Let me
And
fill my belly a little bit.
yep,
Hey
and a
Magda, what's
lot
up,
of
girlie?
people,
Welcome to the show.
are missing on that.
Yeah.
They
That's
are
the thing. See,
missing
that's
on
what
that
happens
fact.
when you have technology. When you have all these video games and computers and stuff. It's fine for technology. You can make some money and stuff like that. But we lost a lot of traditions.
Yeah, yeah.
There are no more traditions. No one is out there doing the work. No one is out there. When I was a kid, you saw your neighbor and she was struggling with her bags. You asked better go there and help.
Oh yeah.
You better go in there help. They don't. No one even has to ask you. You see Miss Martha with two
Yep,
bags. You're gonna grab one at least,
yep.
and you're
She
gonna
might
help
give
her.
you 10 cent a quarter, but
Yeah, and listen, that's okay. Or she
mhm,
just say, "Listen, I don't have anything to give you, but I have some water. So I would love
yeah,
some water, or I would love a cup of coffee, whatever."
yeah,
I'm not here to do it for money. I'm here to make sure that you get home safe, and you don't have to struggle.
yep. Because
You know, and
it goes
that's
back
lost.
again. It goes because I remember our building. We were the whole building wasn't that great off. Especially when
Right.
the Bronx was burning. When the Bronx was
Imagínate.
burning, basically everybody was poor. But
Right.
I remember our building, Fulana upstairs would get her coupones on the 10th. My mom would get it on the 15th. But from the 10th to the 15th, Fulana, the neighbors and everything are giving to my mom. And then on the 15th, my mom is giving to, like, the whole
Exactly.
building used to, like, okay, what you got? I'm going to get this. And I remember those days. Now it's
Yeah.
like, nah. Oh,
Everybody.
I heard the neighbor was struggling. Well, oh, I guess that's them. They got family. I thought the
Yeah. Let
family
them
was
call
the
their
building.
family or whatever. You don't do
I
that.
thought the building was the family. You know what I'm saying? But they
Exactly.
don't do that no more. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what really messed that up? Because I noticed that when I went to the service, that's when crack just started coming to the East Coast.
Hmm.
When I came back from boot camp, I went to my aunt's house. In my aunt's house in her building, the doors were never locked. You could
Yeah, I
walk into
remember.
anybody's apartment. Hey, Mrs. Robertson. Hey, Titi, bendición, Basi, lo que sea. I went in there, the
Hmm.
doors were locked. And I said, Yo, Titi, what happened? He goes, Mira, mira esa gente afuera. The crack. People were going
Hmm.
into people's houses and just stealing the VCR and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and
Hmm.
just to get a hit of crack and doing whatever. And the people that I used to hang out with before I went to boot camp were offering sexual favors for $5.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
these are the girls that were like the hottest girls on the block in Brooklyn. And it was like,
Hmm.
bro, this is sad, and
Yeah.
it's
It
come to
was.
that, and then laziness, and there's people not caring anymore.
Yeah, like a lot, even with friendships. Like I tell people, I was like, "You have friends?" Yeah, the teenagers, and I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
okay." Have you ever gone to your house and your friend is in your room before you? Nah. Well, then they're not real friends.
Exactly.
Because I remember my friends,
Exactly.
I'd be like, "Damn, bro, I was just gonna come to sleep." Well, we came home and we started doing our homework. Like, you got a house upstairs, but I live in the fifth floor. I don't want to go to the fifth. You live on the first. That's how we were. Because
Exactly.
I lived on the first floor, so all my friends would come to my room, and my mom would just let them in. Okay, like because
Yeah, because
we
it was
had
like
like
we
four.
knew.
Yeah, we had four good friends. They'll eat.
Right.
They, you know, it's not like that no more. And even
No.
with Thanksgiving, it was like a trade. Like I'll go to we'll start on the sixth floor with my friend Freddie, and then we work
Right.
all the way down to my first floor. It was like a trading system as Puerto Rico has, like, hey, you got the
Right.
chicken, blah blah blah. I remember my mom was like, "Oh, what are you making this year?" My mom was like, "The pernil." I'm like, "Why are you not making the turkey?" They was like, "Oh, Pito's mom is making the turkey." You
There
know,
you go.
so it was a thing like that, and that was something that they bring from Puerto Rico. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's the tradition. And
hmm
that doesn't get lost because now, like Rosa says on her floor where she lives, they like that. They all share. They look out for each other. That's the way it's
Oh,
supposed to
look,
be.
look. Rosa said I'm on the floor where we like that we all share,
Yeah.
which is cool. Rosa, that now that you said that, when I was doing DoorDash one time, I said went to a building and they had uh plants in the hallway and all this, and I'm like, why is this the only floor with plants? So I said, oh, maybe it's the whole building. So I
Yeah.
wasn't nosy, I was just curious. But
Hey,
I
you
went
would
to
know.
the yeah, I went down to the next floor to see if they had plants. Nope. So I just kept
Wow.
walking down the stairs. None of them. It was just that one floor that had it real nice. So I was like, wait a minute, this is a whole community floor,
Exactly.
and those are the things that we, especially me as an adult, I miss from my young age.
Yeah. I remember when growing up in the projects, we used to have competitions with each floor. We would paint the walls, paint
Hmm.
people's doors, and adorn them with different colors and flowers, and people would paint everything. Then we would have competitions to see whose floor
Hmm.
was better,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and we would hang out in the hallways. We weren't making noise or anything, but we would hang out in the hallway, and everybody played. We had board games. We are
Hmm.
riding out skates up and down the hallway, playing games and stuff like that, and nobody made noise. Nobody said, "Hey, shut up," whatever.
No.
Everybody was cool with it, you
Yeah.
know, and
She said,
and
"Sure." I was being curious. Yeah, but
you were being presentado, you was being
yeah.
no,
So
but
like
we lost that sense
that,
of community,
yeah, that was brought to me, was brought from the motherland. In other words, like the
basically.
sharing, like back in the days when the Spanish community was like, "Oh, vámonos, let's go to Coley Island." Okay, the
Oh man,
first
yes,
thing out of the first thing out of their mouth after that was, "What are you bringing?" "Oh, I'm gonna bring the plates." "Ito, yo traía arroz." Now you be like, "Hey, you want to go to Coley Island? Cool." Okay, be like, "What happened?" And then when you say, "Hey, you want to bring some soda?" "Oh, you mean tomorrow?" Let me see. I think like right away
I
they
know
look for
exactly.
excuses.
Yeah, I remember when we used to go to Brighton Beach, and when I lived in the projects, we would. My mother would get the. Whenever my mother sent me to the bodega to get 2 libras de jamón y dos
Hmm.
libras de queso, I know we were going somewhere the next day.
Oh yeah,
We would bring the
oh
two
yeah.
loaves of bread, take out all the bread, make all the sandwiches, put them back in the plastic bag. My
Hmm.
mother would make rice. Nancy was making chicken. This one was making the beans and stuff like that. We take it, put them in shopping carts. We all like
Hmm.
about 15 of us take a subway from Manhattan all the way to Brighton Beach and
Yeah,
hang out
and
there for the whole day.
that was again part. Well, when we were young, we didn't realize it, but as I got older, I'm like, wait, that was part of the motherland tradition of trading back and
Exactly.
forth. They don't do the trading no more. That's why it's like,
Everybody looked out for each other.
yeah. And I'm like, no, even birthday party, like people nowadays be like, hey, why you never really do a birthday? I was like, I'm not spending $400 or $500 for you to come to my house and eat and then leave. But
Estoy chapeando.
before the birthday parties were the aunts, uncles would buy, like, okay, I got the cake, yo tengo el bizcocho, tú coge la soda,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
everybody that came was coming with a plate,
You
with a
still
plate.
see that sometimes, but it's very rare. It has to be the
Hmm.
family has to be united from the beginning and stays
Hmm.
like that tight knit, you know? But
Yeah,
you don't see that much anymore.
yeah, I think that's one of the traditions that died, and I've been noticing
Yes.
that it came
And a
from the
lot of a lot
motherland.
of other stuff died with it. Because once
Hmm.
you get rid of tradition, everything's out the window. See, I try to keep
Yeah.
my kids grounded, and thank God that I had my mother when she was alive to instill that stuff in my children when she would talk
Hmm.
to them and give them stories about the past and how we were and how we grew up and how my mother raised us and stuff like that.
Yeah,
My kids have that mentality, but they still you can see them they have their own progression, but they still have it in their mind.
yeah, but it's one thing that they we need to bring back, and I think it's more of the person that's telling people, "Hey, let's go to the beach." They're afraid to say bring something because they feel like then they pour or something like, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? I
Yeah,
think.
see, everybody is sensitive, bro. Everybody is
Mhm.
too sensitive. Si tú no puedes traer soda, bring some cups.
Right?
$1.99. You don't have to bring a whole bunch of cups to everybody. You can bring a
Yeah,
little
dollar.
bag.
Go to the $1.25 store now because it's dollar
Exactly.
twenty five.
I got a dollar store right where I live.
Yep.
You know?
Buy a couple cups. You
Exactly.
don't want to get the cups? A pack of 48 spoons, a dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's something that you're saying, hey, at
Right.
least I'm bringing this. Uh, because I remember you don't go to a person's house without something to give them. Like, when you're going to a
Absolutely.
party. My
You
mom was
gotta bring
like,
something.
oh, well, I'll be like, why are we cooking? And we going to the party? My mom was like, no, you don't go to a party, sing algo,
Exactly.
And now they just go drink, eat your food, and then they get mad
Yeah.
because there's no more.
Even if you go to the supermarket and you buy some Entenmann's, the soft chocolate chip cookies, a box of donuts, a soda,
Anything.
something, anything,
Yeah,
anything. You don't come in empty-handed.
yeah. I don't
You
even
know,
care if it's
or
M
when
and
you get
M's.
there, you find out qué es lo que hace falta and manda a los muchachos para la
That was my
tienda.
uncle. My uncle used to do that. He used to
Yeah,
always come empty-handed, but as soon as he walks in, he was like, "Everybody got everything? Get falta? Let's go."
exactly,
Because
exactly.
eh,
Vámonos.
his thing was he didn't want to buy nothing because he wanted to buy the beers for the party because he knows he was going to drink. But at least he
Yeah,
used to buy the
and to enjoy
beers.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, he used
exactly,
to buy the
exactly.
pack of beers, but he was like, tell my mom, get falta. And my mom would just be like, you know what? Just buy a platos and stuff. Okay. Mira, go get the platos for your mom and then tell the guy that I need 2 boxes of Henneken. I'm like, I ain't carrying that thing up there because back in the days the kids was allowed to buy the beers and stuff,
Right.
you know. So but I never really noticed that until like I can say like last month, and then it really hit me a couple weeks ago when we had a family reunion. Everybody was coming inside with a plate. I was like, then it really dawned on me. Wait a minute, this is a tradition that
Yeah,
is died. Like
it's
I
been
didn't
lost.
realize
Yeah, it's dying,
is
it's dying.
dying.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what you don't see anymore in the parties? Capias.
Oh yeah, well, okay, how many copies my grandmother had on the thing, and I'm like, they
Bro,
dusty, right? They dusty.
my mother still has a chinero down in Florida.
Oh my God, the
Lleno de capias
chineros.
from
Oh my
from when we were
God.
kids to the sweet 16s to the baptisms and stuff like that. I used to
Hmm.
love going to get the capias, man, especially when they had like a half a dollar or a quarter, dime or nickel,
Hmm.
or even
Yeah.
the capias that had like the souvenirs that had the candy covered almonds and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
don't see
yeah. I
those.
remember
You
those.
don't see those anymore.
Now you
Those things
rarely will
died.
see it. People complain like, oh, it's because they wear it and then they throw it away. I was like, well, give it to a grandma because they definitely will put it in their chinero or they'll put it in a
Absolutely.
box. You
But
know?
I mean, I can't see someone throwing away a capia because they're so nice.
Yeah, well, people
And
did.
it doesn't take up any space. Put it in a
Hmm.
gaveta. Everybody got a junk drawer.
Hey,
I got like two junk drawers.
that's how it was. But
Yeah.
again, that was the Latin influence tradition where once social media and all this technology went, so did the
But you know
culture.
what's funny? You would think that being that social media brought the world to us, you would think that looking at tradition and cultures and stuff like that, that it would enhance it.
Yeah,
But what I think is, hey, oh, look at that, man. I think it's boring, and I'm not gonna do that or whatever, and they'll go somewhere else. But people don't understand the fun of those
of it.
traditions, man.
And also too, like technology can be evil or good, and I think it's like if you can do a little video talking about uh playing a trick on my husband, went wrong. All these other stupid things. Why don't you
Yeah,
say, here's a tradition that people forgot, and then do maybe I'll do a videos. You know
yeah.
what I
That
mean?
that listen, we should do that.
Right? Maybe we should do
We
traditions that
can,
people forgot. You know?
yeah, me, you, Alyssa, and some other
Yeah,
people, whatever. We can make some videos and do that, man. Because we gotta. You know what? Even if it doesn't work, we gotta try.
yeah.
We gotta try and show them how fun these traditions were, and
And,
and 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 and,
and
and
especially,
the buffets and stuff. You know?
yeah, and especially, we're on a platform, or what I say, like, an ability to do stuff like this, and we're talking
Exactly.
about it but not doing it. So we're
Right.
being contradicting to ourselves. So yeah, we have
We
to
have
do
the means.
something.
We have the
Yeah,
means, and we can reach. We have that ability where we can reach out to people.
yeah, yeah.
I want to do that. I want to do that.
So
That
for the
sounds
people
really good.
listening, throw some comments on some of the traditions that you've seen died, and starting April, when I get back to the States, we'll do some videos on those things.
Yeah, that'd be good. That I like that. I like that. I really do
Yeah,
like that.
and then we'll show a couple of them right here on Latino Ruido.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. How you like my
'Cause,
background, man?
yeah,
My
I see that.
It's my fantasy home. My fantasy home.
You finally cleaned the house. I see. Está
Yeah, I
limpio
wish.
ahora.
Shit, if I lived in a place like that, bro, I don't leave the house, bro.
So right now I'm in the dining room slash the living room.
You live what? You have a house or you're in a condo?
No, I live in a two-floor house, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
right now is pretty much empty because we didn't think we were gonna come. We were gonna
Right.
stay at her mother-in-law's. So when we got here, I told my brother-in-law, I know you have Latino in you. He was like, why? I said, because you're waiting for the last moment to do stuff. When we landed, when we got here, we were like, oh snap, wait, we need a microwave. We don't got a refrigerator. Oh, now we got to run and get the refrigerator,
Oh
because we
man.
forgot that, we were renting the house.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
here, when you rent the house, you don't really rent it with the refrigerator and stuff like that. They
Oh, you got
normally
it
have.
comes bare.
Right. So when the
Ah.
the last people left, they left. You know what I mean? So
They
we
they
forgot.
took it with them.
Yeah. So we had to, like, rough it up. We had to go get a cooler, and it becomes a freezer slash
You ain't lying,
refrigerator.
bro. And then with the heat over there, bro,
Yeah.
you gotta make sure you get that refrigerator quick.
Yeah, we ran and got a hot plate for the stove because we were like, why are we gonna buy all this if we only be here for like 2 to 3 weeks? So
You're right.
we'll wait for when we're gonna be here long term, then we'll get all the
But
stuff.
now
So
now if you were to furnish the apartment with some decent, you could rent it for more, no?
somewhat, but the fear of doing that is that we're not here. So when they leave, or and then the
They're
person
gonna
that comes
take
to
it with
check up
them.
on it, it'll be already too late because they left with all the stuff.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So that's why we tell them we're renting it just, bare. You have to bring your
Unfurnished,
own,
yeah.
yeah, and stuff. Now we can
But that's cool.
we can rent you one a little refrigerator or something like that. But again, we had one tenant who took the refrigerator with, so
Ah.
we're like, and then since we're too far, we have to ask her brother, and her brother lives 2 hours away from
Oh,
here.
no,
So
yeah, yeah, no, no, you're better off renting it bare, yeah.
yeah, so and then we just come in and do the regular painting and stuff like that, because they damaged a little. But so
Oh, of
far,
course.
and it's not damaged, it's just dirt, like
Yeah,
dusty and stuff like that. But they never really damaged the
you
house.
gotta treat but the thing is when you're renting something, you gotta treat it as your own, man, because remember, even if you're just renting, it's a reflection on you, on the person who's renting it,
Hmm.
you know? And
So
they're like, "Oh, no, they got the owners, they can clean this." You go, "Bro, but don't you wanna live in something clean?" You know? You take it
yeah,
upon yourself. That's the
we
problem
have
with a
it
lot of people.
we have it nice and clean and everything. Don't you know? And then here, uh, even in some places in Puerto Rico, I didn't know. My sisters told me in some places in Puerto Rico, they don't have a tub, so they have the toilet, and then they have like a shower type of thing
Right.
right next to the toilet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you could shower and take a crap at this pretty much.
But, a lot of houses are being built that way now.
Yeah, yeah. And then
They don't have tubs unless it's specified.
they don't have hot water. Like they don't believe in hot water because it's so hot there that the
Right.
pipes sometimes warm the water anyway. And then plus you don't want to take a shower with hot water if it's hot outside. But I'm backwards.
I
I
mean,
love hot water.
I gotta have hot water. I don't care how it
Yeah.
is, bro. Bro. It could be 100 degrees outside, and I'm gonna have a hot cup of coffee in my hand.
Yeah, yeah. But
You
they
know?
have the little machines that they warm up some of the houses. Like if you go to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, my sister said you can tell the American owned houses because they have like water
Hot
heater
water
outside.
heaters.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she said but we don't have hot water heaters because we don't need it. I'm like because we were like matching up houses here and the houses in the
Right.
Puerto Rico, and they're pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is the design of the house.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. It gets
But
more
every
Spanish style in the Philippines.
yeah, and like Puerto Rico's colors and Dominican Republic colors are like yellow, green, like standout
Right.
colors. But other than that, the inside of the house are pretty much the same. So,
Yeah.
and I started checking like let me see if Spain houses are now being Americanized inside the house, but the outside thing it's still the same.
They stay traditional. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because they want modern appliances and stuff like that.
right,
But I
right.
also was looking at houses like in Thailand and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's it's something you have to get used to,
Yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
you got some places in the kitchen under the counter they had the washer and the dryer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know,
I seen
I
that. I
don't
seen
mind
that. And
the washer and dryer in the kitchen, but not right under the counter.
you'd be
You
like,
need to
"Oh,
go
here's a
outside and put some.
dishwasher." Like,
Stick in
hey,
the
what you putting
dishwasher.
your dishes in my in my washing machine? Be like, oh, that's a washing machine. Why is it doing under the sink? Like,
You ain't lying. Karma says rainbow, bro. Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Rainbow
yes.
colors. The Dominicans are famous for that, bro. They
Oh
love their
yeah,
colors.
the Dominican
They
Republic
love their
houses.
colors.
Yeah, there's a house. Is it Huts Point that I seen one time? I was like, no, no. Commonwealth area towards Soundview. I
Okay.
was like, this guy has to be from the motherland because he had green color house. He had
Yeah.
the fence was brick.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the he had a stone Jesus on the side. I was like, this is a motherland guy.
There was this spot over here by East 180th Street. When you go out of the station, you would to where the 9 bus picks you up. Across the
Hmm.
street, there was like an empty lot, and they had like a shack, Puerto Rico shack there,
Mm,
built like by hand, and all the greenery and stuff like that. The guy owned it, and he sold it to this builder that they put a building up on it now. So he went back to Puerto Rico, but he was living there for a while, bro. And he had no electricity, no light.
mm.
He would have his own electricity with propane. The propane tank was outside and stuff like that, and he was there for a while, bro. And then he just sold it and said, "Well,
Yeah,
got some
that's
good
the
money
one
for it."
thing. That's the one thing since I've been doing a lot of research on how Latinos live around the world. They live more, I guess, laid back type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
um, oh my God, like if here, oh my God, the stove broke. Okay, they be like, then grill. Like, I put up a picture on my Facebook where the oven broke, so we had to take the pernil and put it on the grill outside.
There you go.
We managed somehow. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly, exactly. They'll break
and
it. "Oh, mira, ya me supe," or "We gotta get
yeah,
another one." Or what they do, they'll take the turkey out and run down the hallway to the neighbor's house. "Mira, I need to use your stove, man. My stove broke." "Oye, toma, ven, saca."
no,
They get all the pots and pans from the oven.
and then here I'm like I'm looking for like they said, oh, you want to use the grill? I said, yeah. They bring a little
Like
metal
a
type of
hibachi.
thing, right? Like a pot, looks like a big pot, and I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, that's a grill. All right, cool. I'm gonna run up the street and get some coal, and some maybe lighter
Charcoal, yeah.
fluid, charcoal, and some lighter fluid. He was like, what's that for? He was like, oh, I'll get the charcoal because the lady down the block sells it cheaper. So I said, okay, cool. He went and got
Yeah.
some. I was like, "Where's the charcoal?" He said, "Right there." I said, "That looked like burnt wood." He said, "Yeah, it is. They burnt, compressed the wood, and that's what their charcoal." So I was like, "All right, cool." And then they
Well, you know what? When you
fanning it
compress
to
the wood,
heat up.
it holds the heat.
Yeah.
When
So
you have the compressed wood, it burns slower.
simple life, simple life, and we
Exactly.
once we become Americanized, we forget the Latino
Yes,
simple
we
life,
do.
how they live
We
out
do.
there. You know, They work during the day, like couple hours hitting the mangoes and all what they have to do, but then the rest, either they cooking or they just relaxing, playing dominoes, whatever. It's a
Exactly,
relaxing, like
exactly. And I
for
and I remember in Puerto Rico before all this drug activity and stuff like that, you would drive on the highway and you see a kiosco. You'll stop off, you get some chicharrón and some pernil, play some dominoes, have a beer or two, some water, soda, lo que sea, and then you're
hmm
on your way. Now a lot of these places closed down because they were getting robbed.
Yeah, I when I was talking to my sister a couple months ago, and I hear something in the background like "Boop, woo, wee," and I'm like, "Oh snap, what's that?" She said, "Oh, that's that tipo that he has this whistling thing that he's selling piñalas, and not it's." She said it's like coquitos here, the little coquito thing, but it's
Right.
actually coquito ice that they
Oh,
sell.
okay.
Like what we have with the ice, and then we put the coquito liquid in there.
Like the
But she was
piragua.
like, yeah, but she was like, there, it's made out of the real coquito.
Okay.
So she was like, no,
All
that's
the
just the guy.
ingredients.
Guy passes by and he does the little whistle and everybody already knows. So I was like, oh, that's like the ice cream truck then, you know.
Yeah.
And she said, I was like, so out of curiosity, I was like, so does he ride like a car or something? She was like, no, it's a bike with the little thing in the front, and he gets off the bike and they sell. So I was like, I already imagining the old ice cream salesmen
Ex
back in the 40s and
exactly.
50s,
Yeah,
you
they
know.
got the box truck. I mean, they
hmm
got the bike with the box in the front, and he's pedaling.
hmm
Yeah,
And
Rosa says,
and
"Yeah, you don't no hay eso, you don't have that
there's no
anymore."
more. There's no
No,
more. And living the simple, like, we're army family, so we know adapt. My dad used to always say, "You adapt." He was like,
exactly.
I don't want to hear this. I can't. You
No,
learn how to
there's no such thing as
adapt.
they can't.
You know. And here it's like, wait, we have no power now. What we do? Get your ass outside and play some games. That's what you do. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Or get the flashlight out.
or get the flashlight out.
Bro, I remember the
Remember
first time I
back in the
went to
days,
DR.
everybody had candles in their junk
Yeah,
drawer, the little ten
exactly.
cent candles.
I remember the first time I went to DR in, like, I think it was 1991,
Mm,
and, I'm sitting outside, y se va la luz. So I
mm.
figured blackout. I'm like in New York. Oh shit! I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. People just got up. They went and got the candles or the flashlights or whatever, and they kept doing what they were doing.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm
was like
sitting there like
nothing.
scared crap for this. I said, "Oh my god, some people gonna come here and mess with us and everything." No,
hmm You see them
light
coming
came on
outside,
just a
hablando.
couple hours later, and ya está.
Yep, hablando. They probably be like, "Hey, did you cook it before the light went off?" Yeah, well,
Yeah,
come on. They bring all the food that was already cooked before the light shut off. You know
exactly,
what I mean? So, eh, eh,
exactly.
and here it's not like that. And again, that's where we're losing self-worth of
Yeah,
being called a Latino. It's like you're just being called a Latino for the name now. I
exactly.
I feel some kind of way
Half
about
the
that.
people don't even understand what the Latino culture is. Don't even know it
Yeah,
of what people tell them, and usually what they see on TV is the bad parts.
yeah. Because I remember, like when you were called a Latino, you were like proud because you were the heritage, and now you're just called a Latino because you speak Spanish and your family is
Exactly,
from there.
exactly,
So
exactly.
I don't know, and it's hard. Like, yeah, we got the platform for it, but it's still hard to get it out there when they say you can, get it out there, but to deaf ears, that's basically where you're getting it to, you know.
Basically, yeah. Or you got
So,
people who go to their homeland and stuff like that, but they won't go to where they grew up. They'll go to the resort.
oh yeah,
Like, I know people, some Dominican friends of mine, they'll go with their kids, but they won't. They'll visit the family for one night in El Campo or wherever that, but the rest of the time is
hmm
gonna be at the resort, in the swimming pool, whatever. So you went there, but you didn't go there.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? People who go to Puerto Rico, yeah, I stayed in El Condado. We had a great time. I was hanging out in the motherland. You didn't go to Puerto Rico.
no,
You went to Puerto Rico, but you didn't go to Puerto
to
Rico.
Puerto Rico, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You know.
To El Yunque, to your own your hometown, like my hometown in San Lorenzo. I
hmm
might have to be going down there soon for legal matters with my
mm
father, his deceased, some papers
Right.
and stuff. I'm hoping not to, but if I do, I'm gonna make the best of it.
No, it's just like my older sister, she lives in Puerto Rico, but then moved to Texas. So she said, if I go to Puerto Rico, she was like, let me know. We'll get find a nice resort for you and stuff. So joking around, I was like, oh, so you don't want me in your house? That's what you're trying to say? She was like, no, because I would assume that you come here, you want to be in a hotel or something like that.
Nah,
And
I
because
mean,
she was saying a lot of the people, American lives, that when they go to these places, they don't want to live in the hut. They don't want to live in a concrete built house. So
right.
because they feel bougie. I'm like, listen, got a roof over the head. I can lay down and sleep. That's all I need
Exactly.
because I'm on vacation
Now,
anyway. I'm not supposed to be indoors anyway.
I could
I'm
understand
supposed to be
now
exploring.
if you go, let's say for let's say 2 weeks,
Right.
and you're in probably maybe let's say 2.5 hours away from the airport where you're going. I would stay there. Let's say if I'm going for 14 days, I'll stay
Hmm.
in family's house for like 11 of those days. The last 3, I'll
Exactly.
probably do it in a hotel near the airport for convenience,
Hmm.
just to get. But the bulk of my time will be spent, you know,
Well, same thing with me. We were at my mom's house, my mother-in-law's house, for like about a week or two,
right.
and it's because she lives 3 hours from the well, with traffic 3 hours, but it's actually like an hour and some odd minutes to the airport.
Okay.
But we were only there for the week or so because there's family on that side.
Right. Right.
So once we did the family reunion, we were like, we're out. Now we came over here to our house for
Yeah.
the rest, and now we don't go back until like 4 days before we have to go back home.
Right.
You know what I
Because
mean?
it's more convenient, less travel, and you
Right.
don't want to
But
put
we're
people out.
we're not we're not living in the hotels. We're not living.
Right.
The only time we did the resort is when we went to the beach, and the beach is because it was like 4 hours away, 3 hours away. So we were like, instead of coming back home, the whole family. I'm talking about the whole family. They have over here. They have like rooms
Right.
where they really mean family rooms. It's like an apartment.
Wow.
So and you can have all the families there. They had like 4 beds, bunk beds. You know. So
Yeah. You rough
these
it.
are the things. Yeah, these are the things you do, and you go with the families.
Exactly.
But I know a lot of people that will go to Puerto Rico, and now you're joining up with the families there, and then you say, hey, let's go somewhere 2 to 3 hours. Okay, I'm gonna go grab me a room. You so the other ones have to grab their own rooms. Like, I
Exactly.
don't understand that. You're not there to sleep in the room anyway. So if
Right.
all of y'all are coming, they come in, they like here. That's the one thing that I noticed in Puerto Rico. Wow, you go to a family's house, even though there's no bed, you see some of them sleeping on the sala floor, on the sofa, because it's only one day. They're not caring, you
Exactly.
know, and
Exactly.
that's if they go to sleep, because
Yeah.
the Latinos, they
Most of the time, you're
they
gonna
don't
be
even
up the
really
whole
sleep,
night, drinking,
you know.
talking, playing dominoes, like I said, and just reminiscing about things. You sleep
Yeah,
an
yeah.
hour or 2, maybe if that. In the morning, what you do, you take a nice shower, wake up and stuff like that, y ya está pa' fuera.
Hey, Ja,
Yeah,
and you're out the door anyway. You're on vacation anyway, so like
exactly,
me and my sister-in-law was like, you're not sleeping. Why are you doing outside? It's too hot. I'm like, I'm on vacation. I want to go explore. Like in the burning heat. It's like, well, you from here, so obviously you're not gonna leave the door until like 12 to 1 o'clock in the
right.
afternoon, if that, because normally, like yesterday, they came to my house around 3 in the afternoon when the sun was already,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, damn, I was just gonna go sit down and watch, you know what I mean? And they knocking on the door, and they all outside, so we had to take the furniture outside, hang out, So I was like, okay, but me as a person in vacation, I want to be out the door already.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So, but we definitely need to bring the tradition of togetherness
Yeah.
back.
But you know what?
You know,
Maybe doing those videos would do something,
yeah, definitely it has to be because like especially with Puerto Rico, like and then when you go to Puerto Rico, some people don't like find it strange of what they're doing. It shouldn't be strange if you knew the culture. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
If you
Because
know your culture, you're not gonna get culture shock. Just
yeah,
something you go that you expect it, and you gotta deal with it. You rough it. I mean, fine. I'm gonna die if there's no air conditioning, but you know what I'll do? I just won't sleep because I won't sleep comfortable.
Hey, listen,
Because
I'll be like, I'll run down the block like and got a fan, and like we're
yeah,
here. Her best friend gave a fan one that was broken and was like, Charles, I know you know how to fix electronics, so I was like, oh, so, you know, bring it. They bring me the AC. I was like, what I'm gonna be like, electronic fixer here if I move over here, but. They
you
all
have to
said,
open
"Hey,
up
I
your
got a
shop.
fan." Yeah, I was like, I got a fan. I was like, okay. And they was like, yo, Charles, where you going? I said, oh, I'm going to the discount store to get a pot, some plates and stuff. And they was like, for what? I said, so we can cook and eat. No lie, like 10, 15 minutes later, because we all in the gated community,
Yeah,
a pot. The other one came with some spoons and stuff like that. They was like, here, you don't have to buy it. You're only here for 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
there you go.
So, and
Everybody
I'm like,
has spares.
and I said, this is what the Latino tradition is all about. You know what I mean? It's about give and take. Hey, somebody from Twitch TV is watching us, but got some big story here. Hey, I
Yeah, yeah. He
want to
wants to
offer a
offer a promotion
promotion
of
on.
our channel.
Okay, we'll talk about that. They're
Yeah,
one of those bots, but that I was like, I'm looking, I'm like, this is the old tradition of the islands. Like
yeah.
you know any Caribbean island, even probably I never was in Jamaica, but I'm assuming Jamaica does that too,
Oh
where
yeah, they have the
okay, they
traditions.
all here.
I got friends from Jamaica when I used to work with from Trinidad and it's all
Hmm.
tradition. It's all tradition. And I have a friend actually that he didn't grow up there, but he was there till he was about 7 or 8 years old. But then he goes almost every other year, and he goes. That's how he learned, and he still keeps his tradition, and he instills it
Mm.
on his daughter here, and he's getting ready to retire también. And he said he wants to go back home, either there
Yeah,
or live in DR. He doesn't want to stay in
yeah.
the states anymore.
Like my son, they were shocked because they're more shocked because he's supposed to be Americanized,
Right.
but he went and brought a toy for himself at a store, and then when he came back, everybody assumed since he was going to get a toy, he's getting a toy. He came back, he said, "Hey, cuz, here." He had a toy because I installed in him, like my mom said, if you can't bring for everyone, don't bring at all.
Don't bring it
You know
on,
what I mean?
exactly, exactly. Because one,
So he,
you become a show off, and they
hmm
start thinking that this guy thinks he's better than us,
hmm
you
and
know,
he
and
went
and,
and
that,
got
and that's a good thing. That's a good thing you installed in him also, you and Rhea, because
mhm.
I know Rhea
Yeah,
Rhea is
we're
is a strict Filipina with
yep.
modern thoughts también, pero she holds tradition también.
Yeah, her modern thoughts are more towards modern in business, but when it comes to
Right,
family, it's more traditional.
of course,
And he brings a water gun, and they were
right,
like, "Oh wow, I like that Raiden doesn't just bring from himself." I was like, "Why?" They was like, "Well," and then that's all they do well. And now I'm like,
exactly,
okay, I understand because we're American, and Americans are supposed like be selfish. Like they'll walk into your house eating a cookie knowing that there was other kids there that's gonna ask for cookies. Like you
right.
can't do that.
See, that's
So
to me that's the misconception. I mean, it's rightly so, but that's what they see on TV. No one sees shows of community, of giving, like the shows that we used to watch in the '80s and in the '70s to an
hmm
extent, and there's no it's a lot of successes and getting out of the hood and stuff like that. Some people come back and give and stuff, but people just want to get out, don't want to come back
right,
anymore. You don't
yeah.
have to do it,
So like,
but that should be traditional.
yeah, it's like the show Bluebird, Blue
Blue Bloods
Blue Bloods. Yeah,
with this guy. What's his name?
the Warner Marker
Oh man, the father. What's his name? With the
Tom
mustache.
Selleck, right?
Tom Selleck.
Not
Yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Selleck, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Tom
the
Selleck
thing I the thing I like about that show is they always ended with them having Sunday dinner as a
at the house.
family.
Exactly.
No matter what
Exactly.
you were doing and what you were fighting for, or even if you were arguing as brothers and sisters, that Sunday dinner It was all about the family, and that's the one thing I like
Exactly.
about that show. Like they trying to
Exactly.
keep that tradition of a
Yeah.
Sunday dinner. Like, and we keep a tradition of once a week is movie night. My son already knows
Okay.
that. We get the popcorn ready. It's movie night is just for us. No phones, no nothing. We don't answer.
Right.
And here, when I came, they was like, "Hey, I know Ria said that you love family day and movie night. So, what do you want to do this Sunday?" So, like, they understand I do this. You don't have
Right.
to do it, but they want to be involved in it, and I
Yeah.
think that was cool. You know,
They'll
and
never
so now,
forget that. They'll never forget that. Because they
yeah. So
say
this
when these
Sunday
guys
we
came,
having.
they come from America and stuff like that, and bring and they're modernized and everything. And when they come here, it's like all gone. It's all
Yeah,
about family and tradition and community.
yeah, like
That is
we
that is the best.
I tell them, I said the only time I'm Americanized is when I leave the door of my house because I'm leaving the door because of business. But once I enter
Right.
my house, it's all about tradition again.
Yeah.
Even certain things outside is still traditional. But like I keep in mindset that I can't throw tradition to American people because either I look weird or they don't understand. You know,
Exactly.
so, but once you're in your door, I think, and like you said, and put embedded in your children,
Yeah.
you know, even the little thing like don't go to someone's house or party without something. Even that
Right.
one little thing, I don't know.
That's what my
But
kids.
again,
My kids don't even like going to people's houses. They go to their family house. That's it. They don't go to their friends'
yeah,
houses. My kids to this day, my daughter, who's gonna be 21 next week, still
mm,
says, "Dad, can I go out with my friends? We want to go to the movies, or we want to have a picnic in the park, or whatever like that." They ask. They don't say, "Dad, I'm going here." No, they still ask me.
hmm
So they preguntan, and that's a beautiful thing.
yeah. So even to now to like my wife, I'll be like, I'm going to the store. Even if she's not here, I text her, I'm going to the store. But it was a thing where when we were used to be, my mom used to know where exactly where I was because either we tell
Right.
my mom, "Hey, I'm going to the store," but since we didn't have phones and stuff like that, either we used a fake collect to tell her
Oh
where's the
yeah.
next step,
Yes. Yes.
or we tell the vecino, "Hey, you see my mom? Tell her I'm going down to blah blah blah." You know what I mean?
Right.
So each person already knew
Yeah.
where you're at all times. Now, be like, I thought you were going to be in the park. Oh yeah, then we changed our mind, and
Right.
now you got technology, so you couldn't text your parent or your friend or somebody and say, "Hey,
Exactly.
I'm going to the next park." No, they just go. Like,
Because they could be telling, okay, I'm going to Central Park. I'm
hmm
going to be at this section of Central Park. But then something kicks off at one other end of the park, and he goes, I'm not worried about that. My kid's over here. And they find out that your kid was over there.
yep, and
You
that,
can't do anything until you find out when either on the news, the cops come to your house, or when they get home.
yeah, and see,
When I
and
was a
that's
kid,
the
whenever we left the
problem.
house, before the cell phones and everything, my mother would give us 5 dimes.
Hmm
You make 5 phone calls if you need to. If you
Yep.
can't get me, you call your grandmother. Can't get your grandmother, you call your uncle. And we memorized all these numbers.
Oh, I
We didn't have to
remember.
look at a cell phone. Oh, what's the number? What's the number? What's the number? No, we knew
Yeah.
everybody's number, and they knew exactly where we were going to be.
Yep, I remember, and there was that time where when the collect came out and you didn't have coins, there was no excuse. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
tú no podías llamarme collect para decirme where you
Exactly.
were gonna go. You know,
Exactly.
but then at the
Or
same
not even.
time, you call them collect to tell them where you go. Mira, esta llamada es caro. Why you?
Ah, it's when you have to record. We say, please say your name, mommy. I'll be
Yeah,
home in 20 minutes,
yep,
and then
and
and
then
then and then
engancharla.
he goes, no, I don't accept.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we had the
Yeah,
system. We had the system good. But then again,
but
también, if we were going out, it would say where you going, who are you
con
going
quién?
with? I don't know that
Mm-hmm.
friend. Ask their mother to give me a call before I even think
Mm-hmm.
about letting you go. The mother will
Yep.
call. You call their mother. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm gonna let my son go. Or to
Yeah.
someone's house. Okay, I'm gonna let my son go over there. But you have to bring him home, or I have
Yep.
to go pick him up.
They don't know. They don't know their friends now. But we got
No,
like 10 seconds. I just noticed the
something like that.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, listen. This was a lot of fun. And we're gonna keep up with traditions like this and talks and stuff. And you guys give us ideas and thoughts and stuff like that, and we can discuss it in future shows. So anyway, this is Johnny Boricua Prince Dones for Latino Ruido, and we have Mr. Charles Laloma from the Philippines. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Love you all. Till next week, guys.
Por amor se han creado los hombres en la faz de la tierra. Por amor hay quien haya querido regalarle una estrella. Por amor fue una vez al Calvario con una cruz a cuello.